What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Our Kind of People. This is season 1, episode 9. The episode was twice as hard, twice as good, you guys. So this is the last episode we'll get until January the 11th, right? So before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I'm gonna need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and stop taking me out on this date and have me pay for it at the end of it. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, like the video, share the video, and with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's talk about Our Kind of People. Very good episode. We open up and Aunt Piggy is back, right? She's made it back. So she sees Nate. She's like, "Oh, what's going on between you and Nate, Angela?" So Nate tells them that, hey, actually he's talking to Angela, right? So he's telling Angela that he's been looking for a job. So when the summer ends, actually he's telling this to Angela and Piggy, right? He was saying that once the summer ends, he's gonna go back to Boston, right? So Piggy was like, "So we're all going back to Boston?" Angela was like, "I'm just gonna be Nate," right? So then Angela tells her, that there's nothing going on between she and Nate. So you say, Angela. So she's also telling her that at the same time, there's nothing going on between she and Nate, but that since Piggy left, that Tyreek has been having a hard time with the situation with his father. So then we move over and we see Leah and Raymond. So Raymond, he's taking a shower. Leah comes in there and she's with Raymond, right? So Raymond is thinking about this whole thing that's going on between him and Teddy, right? And Leah's like, "You know what, Raymond, I really, really wish that I had said something sooner." And Raymond was like, "You know what, I understand it. I don't know how Raymond understands it. Like, because that just really shows that your wife has a deeper, well, it would look right, that she has a deeper loyalty to her father." Now I know Leah says that she found information, but once her father found out, that's when he started coming at her. So I guess I can kind of see him being so understanding, right? Kinda. Eensy weensy, but I can kind of see it, right? So then we see Sloan and Quincy, right? So Sloan and Quincy, they in the hallway kissing, and then, Miss Jackie comes and she pushes him in the room and closes the door. So they're creeping around Miss Jackie, right? And once, this is over with, Quincy tells her, "Hey, there's a party that, my friend Miranda's having," or whatever the hell her name is, Mariah. His friend Mariah's having, and he wants her to come. She's like, "Okay, cool, let's go." So let's move forward, you guys. So Angela. So Angela has found Tyreek, right? And, she's trying to, see what's good with Tyreek. Like, we good. The last time you came over, you were drunk and you looked a little high and you were upset about this, me and Nate. And she's telling him there's absolutely nothing going on between me and Nate, right? He tells her that he gave her space to figure things out with Nate. And she tells him, like, "I feel like you're just using that as an excuse to not talk about what's really going on." He says, "Yeah, you're doing the same thing." I'm like, "Not really. I mean, we'll talk about it. We will talk about it." So then we see Leah, right? So Leah and Liv are talking to the prospective Gracies, right? So they're telling them that they're going to be having this big function where all of, basically senior Gracies will be there, right? And these women will be, interacting with the potential Gracies, and basically will be giving their opinions on them to Leah and to Liv, right? Now, Liv thinks that Angela won't meet up to the expectations of those women. And, oh God, Liv in this episode kind of got on my nerves, right? So Angela stood up for herself. So after this, we see Leah. She pulls Angela to the side to calm her down, right? And she takes her to the office where Teddy is, right? So Leah and Teddy are telling Angela, because Angela thinks that she's going to have this distribution deal with, the Franklin incubator program, right? So they tell her that with all the stuff that has happened here lately with the Alex situation, revealing that Teddy has Parkinson's, it's kind of put a damper on business. So they're going to have to cut the incubator program, right? But Angela tells, not Angela, but Leah tells Angela, "Hey, that's why you need to work on getting into the Gracies, because you can get into the Gracies. That's a sisterhood, right? And we help each other, right?" So, and she says, and the sisterhood can help Angela. So then we see Angela, she gets home and she tells Nate, what's going on about the incubator program being cut. So her distribution deal is null and void. It's not going to happen at this point, right? So he then gives her some words of encouragement, right? And then he tells her how his job search is going and the fact that he's going out looking for jobs, but the jobs that he's looking for will put him back in the same position that he was when he got put in prison. So he doesn't want to do that. So then we see Liv, right? So Liv, she's talking to Raymond and she's talking to him about Jack selling his shares of Darman to Teddy. And, Raymond tells her he's handling it for her not to worry about it. And she tells him with that many, if Teddy gets his hands on that many shares, there won't be any chance for them to get Darman Foods back, right? So then he shows her the shell company that Teddy has, right? So Liv, like I said in this episode, Liv got on my nerves. I gotta keep it real with you. Mama Liv was annoying me. But we're gonna pause here, you guys, and we're gonna move forward. You guys, remember I told you that Quincy was telling Sloan about the party that his friend Mariah was having, right? So we see the kids, they're all at the beach, right? We see Lauren, she goes up to talk to Taylor, right? So she's telling, she asked Nikki, can she have a conversation with her? And Nikki was like, cool, right? In that moment, I was like, uh-oh, Nikki's gonna get a little jealous, right? So Taylor is telling, not Taylor, but Lauren is telling Taylor that she believes that her mom is cheating on her dad with Jack, right? And, Taylor says, do you have any factual proof about that? She says, well, I found this key card in my mom's car and it belongs to Jack, right? And Taylor was like, well, my mom has been married 3 times, and with her last husband, I told him that I saw him out with the woman having lunch. Turns out that woman was his boss, and that caused a whole lot of problems in the marriage, right? So she asked Lauren, are you sure you want to take this risk? And Lauren tells her, well, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, right? So then we see Leah, right? And she's giving her she has her mother's stuff from her Gracie's. So she's giving Angela these books so that Angela can study it, so that way when she's in this, basically it's a mix. So when she's in this thing, she knows who's who and how to mix and mingle with the people, right? So she also tells her there's one person who she should look out for. Her name is Giselle, and she says that's she tells her who she is and what she does, right? So then Leah opens up this other book, right? And she finds this picture and there are 3 women on it, and she takes it out and she flips it over. On the back of it, it says Gray City's Perspectives 1984. It has Olivia DuPont, Rose Franklin, and Evelyn Vaughn, right? So we all know who those 3 people are. Evelyn is Angela's mother, Olivia, Mama Liv, and Rose, Leah's mother, right? So then we see Nikki, right? So she's quizzing Angela on these facts about, the Gray Cities. Angela doesn't really know her facts that well. So then Nikki asks Angela, can she go to the boarding school that Lauren and Taylor go to, right? And Angela's like, I love seeing you, do all this. I'm like, Angela, you don't even realize why she really wants to go to this boarding school. It's because she's jealous and she wants to keep an eye on her girlfriend, right? But Angela tells her, excuse me, I didn't mean to burp in your face. Angela tells her it may have to wait because of the situation with the incubator program and the fact that she won't be getting her distribution deal. So that may be something that has to be put on the back burner. So then we see Liv, right? So she goes to talk to Leah and she talks to her about, Teddy, and asks Leah, will she be helping Raymond out? Because, that's what women are supposed to do. They're supposed to be there for their husbands. So then Leah tells her that my man got it. He good. So then Leah questions Liv about the photo that she found, right? And, so I didn't put this in my notes. So Liv's whole thing was she wanted to be a part of Darman, right? But her husband was never, I guess he wasn't going to allow that to happen, right? So at one point, her husband gave her some money and told her to invest it, right? So what she decided that she wanted to do was she wanted to invest it into Eve's crown, right? And when she did that, she's talking about the fact that Eve went and slept with Teddy, had a kid with Teddy, and once all that stuff happened, her husband took the money from her. So she has an issue with Eve, and now she's basically exacting her revenge on Angela. I was like, oh wow, okay. So, because she called both Bond women trash. I'm like, oh, but you were cool with her. Okay. So wouldn't that make you a little bit of trash as well, Miss Liv? But whatever. Touche. So then we move back. So we're gonna pause here and move forward, you guys. So then we see Raymond. So Raymond is talking to Teddy once again, right? The fact that Teddy and Raymond both read each other down is hilarious, right? So Teddy is telling him that, once he gets this, once it's signed on the dotted lines, these shares, he'll have controlling interest of the company, right? And, he'll have controlling interest in Darman. And he asks Raymond, what will you have? Raymond says, I'll have my youth, the one thing that you wish that you had. I was like, well, damn. Okay. So Angela, we move back over to Angela. So she's going into the room where Nate is sleeping at, right? And she gets a box of her product, right? And then a vial of Coke falls, right? So then we see Angela. Angela is laying into Nate, right? She's telling him like, so you telling me about them jobs that was basically crap, right? Because you're doing drugs. She says, I can't have you around, if you're gonna break Nikki's heart. I'm like, okay, Angela. You didn't even ask the man if it was his or not. You just automatically assumed that it was his. So Liv, we move back over to Liv. So she went to pay Jack a visit, right? And she tells him that she needs for him and Raymond to basically get along. And she needs him to keep his shares. So then, she tells him a story about how Darman came about, right? So at that time, so when Darman first came about, black people couldn't get a loan, right? So his great grandfather gave the money, right, for Darman. And then at that point, they just kept it in the family. I'm like, so damn, it was so it really was supposed to be a black owned company, but the white people just, since they were basically like a hedge fund, they gave the money and they just got absolutely. So she tells him he may not give his shares to Teddy, right? So Jack at this point is like, let's do a line of coke. And she's like, absolutely not. I'm not doing no coke with you. So he takes the coke out of his pocket, getting ready to put it on the table. She was like, no. So then he goes up to her trying to talk to her. Now he's getting a little bit too close to her, and I will give her this. If she had not done what she did, she had a great case, right? But he got a little too close to her, so she pushed back and he fell into the coffee table, which was made of glass, and she left him she just left him there. I'm like, well, and she left her glass there with her lipstick on. I'm like, Liv, that wasn't smart at all. So we're gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward, you guys. So then we see the kids at the party, right? So Quincy introduces Mariah to Sloan, and he introduces her as Jackie's granddaughter, right? And she got so upset about that. So we see Nikki and Taylor, right? So they're talking about, her boarding school and if, they have scholarships, right? Because she wants to go there. And, she, so then Lauren walks back up to him, right? And she says, hey, can I speak to Taylor again, right? She tells Taylor that she needs help, right? So then they go to Jack's bungalow where they find Jack dead. So then we see Angela, right? So Angela is at the mixer and she is doing her thing. She is talking to Giselle. She is just, giving her pitch to Giselle until Liv brought her judgmental ass up, talking about you just have no class, no couth. You should have took that etiquette class with your daughter. And Leah came up and defended her sister. I'm like, thank you, Leah. You might not be my most favorite person, but thank you for coming up and saying something to her, right? So then we see Nikki. So Nikki is jealous, completely jealous, because she asked Taylor, there's something going on between she and Taylor. And, Taylor tells her, I can't really tell you what's going on, right? Like she can't tell her what's going on. Nikki, you're jealous. And it ain't a good look on you, boo-boo. So let's pause here and we're gonna move forward. So next up we see Leah. So Raymond came and got Leah. So they went back to Lauren's room. Lauren tells them that she found Jack dead, right? And they were like, why were you at his room? She's like, because I found his key card to his bungalow in your car, Mom. And Leah was like, oh shit. She's like, he came up to me at the beach. He was a little drunk and intoxicated and he gave me his key card. Nothing came of it. And, they told Lauren not to worry about their marriage, that they're good, right? So then we see Piggy. So Piggy is asking Angela, so hey, so with you and Nate, did y'all get y'all 10 feet, 10 toes up and 10 toes down situation going? Angela tells her no, because he's back on drugs and she found the drugs in his room. So that's when Piggy tells her, okay, Angela, those drugs aren't his. Those drugs were mine. And she looked at her, she's like, yeah, let me explain to you, right? So Piggy tells her back in the day that she was addicted to crack and that she fell in love with her dealer. So at one point in their relationship, the dealer, started choking her out. So Piggy grabbed a knife and, plunged it into him, right? So she called Eve, and Eve said that her boss could help her out, right? So her boss was Teddy. So what Teddy did was Teddy sent Tyreek's dad down there to get the body, and he buried the body, right? So when he did that, that's when he had control. That's what gave him his control over Piggy. So Piggy tells her that, that's what he's been doing since the reason why I left that party was because he's been blackmailing me. He told me to get you to leave town, but I didn't, right? He's been using that against me this entire time. She says, you have to believe me. And Angela's like, I do believe you, right? So then we see Leah, right? So Leah, she's talking to Liv once again, and she's telling Liv, like, the way you keep treating Angela, it ain't gonna fly here. Like, you need to back the hell up, right? And she tells her, you've been sanctioned. I'm like, oh, yes, come on, Leah. So yeah, back off of her. So we're gonna pause here and we're gonna wrap up, you guys. So we see Angela. Angela is apologizing to Nate, right? For the way that she reacted. She's just telling him the reason that she reacted that way is because what happened with them around the time Nikki was born was he really hurt her with what he did, right? So she gets a phone call from Giselle, and Giselle tells her that she wants to meet up with her because she loved the products. The product is working, doing good for her hair, right? So they had this little moment where they look at each other, and then Nate went in for a kiss, and Angela kissed him back. But then she pushed him back. He's like, what's up? She's like, that was a little too reckless, right? I still had the situation between me and Tyreek. He was like, but you kissed me. She's like, yeah, but that was reckless. Nah, Angela, I'm gonna need you to lay into that one because you wanted to kiss him. Like, let's keep it real. You wanted that to happen. So don't come at me with that, oh, it was reckless. You wanted it to happen. So then we see Nikki. So Taylor went to visit Lauren, right? So Taylor nor Lauren can sleep after the whole situation finding Jack dead, right? So they sitting on the bed. I'm like, oh God, this is about to happen, isn't it? Taylor, you scum. Gotta be honest. Taylor is scum, right? You are going between cousins. You were with Lauren, broke up with Lauren, got with Nikki. Now you with Nikki and you kissing Lauren, her cousin. So then we wrap the episode up and we see Raymond, right? So Raymond goes and tells Mama Liv that Jack is dead. He's telling Mama Liv that he called the police, told the police that he hasn't been able to contact Jack for days. He was like, nah, Ma, that's a lie. So he tells her Lauren is the one that found Jack dead. And you want to know what's even funnier? That I found this martini glass. The only person I know that drinks this kind of martini and leaves this shade of lipstick on the glass, that would be you. So you went there thinking, I told you to stay out of this. But what you did was you thought that by you going there that you would be able to have control over Darman because you knew that he was the last person in the family. So the shares then revert back to our family. She's like, yeah. He says, well, guess what? You're not going to have any kind of control because Raymond is going to hold that glass over his own mother. I was like, oh. Ooh. I was like, I'm like, damn. I wasn't expecting that, but damn. Well played, Raymond. Bravo, Raymond. Bravo. Well played. That was a good one. Like, Liv really thought. And that's what I was thinking to myself when Liv left. I'm like, Liv, you do realize that you just had a drink with this man and your fingerprints are literally all over the glass. Your fingerprints are on the glass. Your lipstick is on the glass. Like, you left so much DNA there. Now, granted, you didn't intend for, you may have intended for that to happen, but not in that way. Not in that way. And I was just thinking, damn, that was so sloppy. So sloppy. But oh, so good. Because when Raymond played that move, I was like, damn. Raymond, he ain't playing with y'all no more. Raymond is tired of y'all, besmirchifying his name. So Raymond said, I'm about to do what I gotta do and let y'all know who ain't to be with in this. Like, so I was like, come on, Raymond. Come on, Raymond. But that was a review, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, you guys, and until the next one, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands. Please wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Bye, guys.